Welcome back to Crafts by KMW. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am thrilled that you're watching this video and I hope you will enjoy it. So today I have a tutorial for you and I guess some ideas on coloring metals with colored pencils. So I'm going to show you color combinations for copper, bronze, tarnished gold or just regular gold, shiny gold, and silver or wrought iron. I'm using Prismacolors, but you could use whatever colored pencils you want. You can just choose similar colors or choose the colors that you would like. And then I'm going to show you how I use these colors to make the metal, because the procedure is really important to get the right look. Now there are tons and tons of videos and tutorials online on how to do this, but I wanted to share this with you because I have my channel, and this way it's kind of a one-stop shop for you. If you're on my channel, you can just go ahead and click on this video and check it out and not have to go anywhere else. So I'm going to show you my color sheet. So this is not professional. I just wrote them down, but this will be available as a file on my Facebook group. So if you would like to get this, you can join the Facebook group and download this cheat sheet or color sheet. So the first one is tarnished gold, and this color combination is from Color with Claire. This is how I started being able to color metals. I looked at her video tutorial and then I tried it a couple times. I colored a lot of things in various books, tarnished gold, and then I started to branch out and come up with my own combinations for other metals. So the colors are sepia, sandbar brown, lime peel, and jasmine, and then white also if you want to add some extra shine in the center. And you can also use white to blend as well instead of a blender pencil. When you blend with white, it will dull the color a little bit, but it does allow you to blend really nicely. So let me show you something I've colored using this color combination. So this is from Hannah Carlson's Daydreams. So here I colored the arrows on this compass rose in the tarnished gold colors. Now I wanted mine to look really dingy and dirty and tarnished and old, so I used more of the sepia and the sandbar brown and not as much of the jasmine. If you wanted it to look newer, you would use less of the browns and more of the jasmine to bring out the yellow in the gold to make it look newer. But I find that I want it to look junky most of the time, so I use more of the browns. So the next combination is silver or wrought iron. And I put these together because you can make it look more silver if you use more of the lighter colors, and you can make it look like iron or even tin if you use more of the darker colors. So it can go either way, and you can use these same colors to make different metals just depending on using more lighter or more darker colors. So I have chosen the cool grays. So basically I use all of them, 90, 70, 50, 30, 20, and 10. And then I also use white and black. Now you could use the warm grays. I think they will work really well as well. French grays will give you a little bit of a pinker tone, I think. So you can experiment. You can also switch out your grays, but again, you'll get some different effects because the tones will be different. So you could do whatever. If you have colored pencils that don't have percentages like this, you can just choose dark grays, medium grays, and light grays and put them together. So let me show you another example. So this is again from Daydreams by Hannah Carlson. So I originally wanted to do this pot copper, but then I thought, that's so ordinary, a copper pot. So I think I'm gonna do it where it looks more tin or like an iron kettle. So I used all of the grays on the base here because this was a big enough area. And then there's also white in the center. On this area, I used, I think, 4 or 5 of them because it was smaller. On the handle, because it's curved, I wanted a few points of shine. So I added a few different areas of light. So I'm really happy with how this came out. I just want to do a little bit more, add a little bit more dark on the outsides. I'll probably futz with that a little bit more, but generally I really like how this turned out. So next is copper. So again, this is Prismas, and there are 5: sienna brown, burnt ochre, peach, light peach, and deco peach, and then white if you want to add a little bit more shine or for blending. Now you could also substitute the pinks for this. So for example, seashell pink, just regular pink. If you want it to be a little bit more pink toned, you can use pinks. So let me pull out. So this is my example. So here we have a mushroom top that has been colored in the copper. So I used each of the colors, and then I used white in the center, and I actually used white to blend the whole thing. I wanted it to look a little more dull because it is a mushroom. I didn't want it to necessarily look extra tinny, but I wanted it to have that color combination. So I think I might, depending on how I do the rest of the mushrooms, which I haven't decided yet, I might add some nail polish onto here to give this a little bit of shine. And you can do that on all of your items with that you color metallic. You could also use just like a gloss coating. I'm not sure if you'd want to use Mod Podge. I've heard some people say that Mod Podge kind of ruins coloring books. So I don't know if you want to do that, but there's other gloss top coats that you can use to give your metal items a little bit more shiny and more of a metal look. And then the last one is bronze. So we have 6 colors: dark brown, chocolate, terracotta, mineral orange, goldenrod, and cream. And of course you can add a little bit of white as well. So here again in Daydreams, I colored these 2 roofs with the copper colors. So I used a little bit more of the browns because I wanted it to look a little more rich, and a little darker because it is a roof. But if you wanted more of the lighter colors, you would just use less of the browns, and it would look more, you would have more of the lighter color, so it would look lighter. So again, you can vary the look of your metals depending on which colors you color more with or use more. All right, so again, this is going to be available as a file on my Facebook group. So you can check that out. So now let me show you how to color with one of these combinations. So I am working in Grains of Gold by Hannah Carlson this time. And I am going to color this roof here. And I'm going to use the copper. So I'm gonna bring you in a little bit. All right. So these are my copper colors. And then I also have my white handy as well. So I'm going to start with the darkest color, which is the burnt ochre. Oh, nope, sorry, sienna brown. Sorry about that. I did have it nice and sharp, but I used it, so just give me a second to sharpen. Okay. So the idea is to first choose where you want the lightest area to be, or the shine, or the center, or the area where you can really tell that it's 3D, that it's metal. So on this roof, I'm going to do the center. So my darker colors are going to be on either side, on the right or left, and I'm going to be moving in towards the center with my lightest colors. Now, sometimes you will not want that. Sometimes you want it more on one side. You might want two areas of shine depending on what your item is and what the angle is. So you can just decide that. I do not have any advanced knowledge about lighting or shadows or anything like that. I did take an art course in high school, but I don't even know if I was really great with it then. I just do what I think looks good to me. I don't really worry about where the light source is or what it might be hitting. I just think about what I want to do and what will be best. And I think a center shine will be best on this roof. So that's what I'm going to do. So when you're coloring, the size of the bands that you color each color is really going to be determined by how large an area you have. So I don't have a super big area here, but it's enough. I'll be able to use each of the colors. So I'll be able to use each of the 5 colors. And I may have a little extra area for white. So if you have a smaller area, like if I were coloring this one here, I would probably only use 4 of the colors because this is a much smaller roof, a much smaller area. Here, I might only use 3. So it really depends on how big the object is that you're coloring. So I'm going to first just color a nice light layer. And I do that on both sides. Now I'm going to go back and add another layer, and I'm only going to do that about 3/4 of the way because you want a little bit of fuzz or a light layer on the edge to blend in with the next color that you're going to use. And that will help the colors blend together much better. So I'm going to add the second layer, and I'm just going about 3/4 of the way in. So I'm leaving that first layer, just one layer on the edge. I'm going to come back and do this side. And now I'm just going to add one more layer. I'm deepening it up towards the edge. And then just adding one more light layer. Now I'm going to use my burnt ochre, and I'm going to do the same exact thing. And I'm going to overlap right onto that first color. For my first layer. And this is really a technique you can use for all blending that you want to do. Anytime you're blending a color, this is a great technique to use. So now that I have that first layer down, I am going to add my second layer, and it's going to be darker here towards the back, and I'm going to leave this leading edge lighter so I can blend that with the next color. And again, I'm going right over where my brown was. And now I'm just going to do one more little light layer. If you want to do really good blending, you need at least 3 layers, in my experience. You can do it with 2, but the more layers you have, the better you will be able to blend. My pencils keep falling off the edge, so I'm going to move those. So now we're going to use the peach, and I'm going to do the same exact thing. In fact, actually, I'm going to make a bigger leading edge here. I don't feel like I did a good job of that. Okay. So again, I'm going to color over the burnt sienna and then come out into the clean area. Now I'm gonna go my second layer and just go at the back and leave that leading edge lighter. So that will blend with my next color. Okay, just gonna do a little bit more. Okay. Now I'm going to use my light peach. Now in this one, I'm using more of the lighter colors just to give you a better view of how that looks with the copper being a little bit lighter. Okay, I'm doing the same technique. I'm really going over that peach on the inside. And now I'm going to finish up with my Deco Peach. And so everything else in the center is going to be Deco Peach. And I'm going over where the light peach was as well. Okay, I'm just coloring a different couple layers of that. Okay. Now I'm going to blend, and I am just using my Prismacolor blender. It's my favorite. I also have the Caran d'Ache blender, which I just bought. I actually did a comparison of the 2 blenders in my most recent haul video, which is a mini supply haul. And and you can check that out if you would like to. The two blenders work really differently. I was really surprised. Although I like that one, the Prisma is still my favorite. So I'm starting from the back or from the edges and coloring towards the center, blending, pressing down. You can see I'm a little messy. I've gotten some on the outside of the lines. I'm not too worried about that because I'll be able to cover that up with whatever I do for the background. I usually don't leave white backgrounds on my pages. And now I'm going to blend in the center. I'm just going over it one more time, all the areas, just to make sure everything is nice and blended. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my white and just do a little bit of white down the center. And that just lightens it up, shows you more variance. And then once I do that, I look at it, I decide if I like how it looks. I'm actually going to take the peach and go over that again, make it look a little more peachy. And I'm also going to go over and do a little bit more light peach. So now I have a really cute little copper roof on my house. Let me bring this up. You can see how it looks from far away as well, or further away anyway. And this technique is the same technique for whatever metal you are coloring. You can vary the colors. If I was doing an even larger area, I might add a little bit of cream in there. I might add a pink to just give it more definition and just blend accordingly. The blending is really important. If you can get that blend and that gradient going, it will look, that's what gives it its shiny appearance. Now, I could have also colored it this way and put the shine going horizontal to make it look more like a curved roof, and I might do that on this top house for a little bit of difference. It doesn't matter which way, where you choose your shine. The procedure is the same, and as long as you build up the layers, you make sure that one color blends into another and that you blend well at the end, you should come out with a really nice looking metal. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you did. If you're not subscribed, please do so. I would love for you to be able to access all of the other content on a regular basis and be able to find out when I have new videos out. And of course, please consider subscribing to or following my Facebook group. I'm going to be having some special giveaways eventually and put some freebies on there, so you don't want to miss out on that. So thanks again, and I hope you have a very crafty day.